I went ahead and put my BRZ in the center of my garage. WRX is way out on the street. Sorry, WRX, but you're gonna stay out there for a little bit while I work on the BRZ. So, first of all, you can see there's a lot of gap in there. Put my shoe in there. Shoe test. It's wiggly as can be. The back is the worst. The back is so bad. With how you can't really see, but you know, that's a good couple inches right there on the gap size wise. And this thing is so dirty. I've been neglecting it, just driving the WRX every day. But you know, we're gonna get back into the BRZ things as there's a drift event coming up. So I definitely want to lower this car real quick using these new coilovers. I got the black flag height adjustable coilovers. So I'm ready to get working on it. I'm gonna start off by doing the fronts. So all I'm gonna do is raise the car up in the front and put jack stands on both sides. Obviously I'm gonna put little bricks of wood behind my back tires as well. Alright, the front of the car is now lifted in the air and on jack stands, but I'm gonna leave this here just for extra security, but it is on the jack stands as you can see. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start off on this left front side. So I'm gonna start off by taking off this ABS line, which is just a clip. It should just pop on out. And then down here as well. And then we have this brake line back here that's held in by a 12mm bolt. Alright, for me to get these clips out, the top one, I literally just kept wiggling back and forth, up and down, mainly back and forth this side to side, and pulling really hard until it came out. It didn't break or anything. The bottom one, that one was in there really tight, but all I did was take my needle nose pliers and went up from underneath on the bottom side and pinched the two sides in and tried pulling out. And also what actually got it out was all I did was like put pressure on the inside of it and pushed it out like that from the bottom. So that's how I got these two clips out. And then this is obviously just a 12mm, came off pretty easy. Now we're gonna go ahead and get working on this guy and then these ones. And then with these ones, you're going to want an alignment after you do coilovers, but you want to mark out where it's at so you can put it back in just the way it was, to hopefully make it so it's drivable and you can drive to get an alignment. But yeah, get alignment right away when you do this. I went ahead and sprayed this bolt with PB Blaster because after you loosen the bolt, which is a 17mm, you got to get over this little hump thing which has an Allen key in it. So if for some reason, like if your car is older like mine, it's rusted, spray with PB Blaster, get an Allen key set. If you don't have an Allen key set, then you probably should go out and buy one. They're very useful. And find the exact Allen key that fits in that hole. I don't know exactly which one it is. However, on this side, you can see I have my Allen key in there. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna twist this off while holding that, or having the car hold the Allen key in that. You wanna be very careful and do not strip that Allen key. Make sure you have the right size. As you can see here, I have all these Allen keys out right here and another set over here, and I went through all of them and found out that this is the perfect one for this. Well, even after putting the exact Allen key in there and everything and spraying with PB Blaster, it still decided to strip on me. So that's a complete rounded out circle in there. You guys probably cannot see that, but it's basically a perfect circle. So that is stripped out. So now what I've been doing is I've been trying to put vice grips on the back of it to hold it in place while trying to turn this nut off, and that's not working either. So worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to buy a grinder and cut this off. Alright, I am back at it now. So I actually went up to the shop where Corey Barnett worked on the car, and he actually was able to do a sway bar in-link delete. So basically what he did was he just literally cut it off from the top part and then unbolted the bottom part, and now it's just kind of sitting here. And what you can do, if you don't have time to buy in-links, you just take a metal zip ties and zip tie through here and through these holes back here, and the zip tie really tight back there, and so it doesn't move at all, and you're basically good to go, be able to drive it. So now I went ahead and I marked this one 1 and bottom one 2 using dots, like 1 dot and bottom one's 2 dots, so I know which one is which. And I marked a black line on the threads to know how far both of them are. So it's pretty much lined up as it was when it was stock, but obviously you're still going to want to get an alignment. It'll be good enough to drive to an alignment place. But yeah, those are both 19 millimeters, so I got two 19s right here, which I'm just going to plop that onto there. But yeah, let's go ahead and do this. To make fun of my silver extension, okay? Let me be. Got him. Alright, and after you just hammer those out, if you're having problems with it, just put like a flathead screwdriver on it and then hit the end of it with a hammer. That's my way of getting it out. It's pretty easy to get it out. Now all I have is these 3 12 millimeter bolts. What I'm doing is, when I knock them off, I'm going to be down here at the same time holding the strut. And you just want to have these wires out of the way. You don't want these to get snagged. If you put them below it, I feel like if it drops, you're going to ruin them. So it'd be best to have them above it than below it. So, but either way, so if you don't want it to drop really hard, because this piece up here, if it comes down low enough, obviously if you drop the strut or something, then yeah, that'll not be good for these guys. If you really don't feel comfortable, you could like zip tie these like over there on that hook over there to make it extra safe. But yeah. And it's actually not that heavy. Oh, my camera fell. And there it is. It really was not that heavy at all. So anyone can do this, and I did not lose the bolt. It was pretty easy to. So yeah, now I have no strut in there at all. I still got to zip tie this. I have to go buy some metal zip ties and zip tie that to that. But now we can look at the old one compared to the new one. Old one has like really big spring, and it's not that, but it's not that many springs in it. Compared to this one, which is like way skinnier, but this springs, you can just tell it's gonna be like way different. And obviously there's a small spring up here. Oh, it's gonna be pretty cool to see the differences. Size wise, they're actually pretty much the same size, but obviously this is where you adjust the height. So right now I think that's, so now next up, I do have to reuse the tops. So I'm just gonna take this cover up on the top and then under the bolts, and obviously it's a spring, you're gonna want this to be held together and not blow out on you. But yeah. Yeah, for anyone who's worried about taking the tops off of it, all I did was put it in grass. Like this is like pretty, like I stuck it in the grass pretty well. I put this box over it just in case, but nothing even happened. Literally, when I was unzipping it, I was unzipping like this. So if it did fly back, obviously my thumb isn't back here. It wasn't gonna like hurt my thumb or anything. It would just like fly out of my hands if anything happened. Obviously I was standing kind of far away, but nothing happened. It is unzipped just fine. I went slow. I just slowly went, you know, I just kept slowly going and nothing happened. So now I can reuse this top, and I'm just gonna do the other one now. Yep, these are both off now, and these are the two new front ones, and I'm just gonna put these tops on it. It does come with new bolts, so don't worry about stripping it. Alright, I put these tops on, and the threads do come out more than the stock ones, but it's fine. I actually had to go to a local shop, and they just helped me press down on the spring while I put the nut on the top of it. But yeah, I already have this one up and in there, and the same way of taking it off, all you do is get one hand and push it up in there, and it was really easy. And the other hand is just hand tighten. I went ahead and hand tighten all the bolts before letting go of the actual coilover, but it is in there. It is looking good. This thing is way, like, this is slammed to the ground at this point, so I'm gonna have to adjust this and raise it up, because I'm not trying to be slammed to the ground. Like this thing, if I push this up, it's not gonna line up with that at all. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and adjust that real quick. If you bought a new in-link, after you put this in and have it loosely in there, you're gonna want to put your in-link on there and hook it in, and then go ahead and tighten in the top bolts. And after you tighten the top bolts, get a jack, get your jack, and then jack this back up, and it'll help you put this in way easier and put the bolts through and everything. And here's a good example. I just straighten this out and then start lifting the jack up, and look, the bolts are pretty much lined up. There's no bolts in it though, but it's just being held up. Alright, I just found something out super weird. So you guys saw me when I uninstalled my old one. See how the bolt was on this side, and like the thread, like you can see the threads on this side on like the brake whatever, the brake line side. On this side, for some reason, they want you to do the opposite. Because this bolt the very top of it is thicker than the rest. And then I tried putting it on the correct side, which would be this side. And I can't put that bolt through this hole. It's too big. But if you look on this side, the hole is way bigger. So they want you to put it in backwards, basically. Obviously, I gotta adjust the jack and everything a little bit more to fully put it in, but it'll go in on this side. So for some reason, it's backwards on this side. Okay, I was in the final part, which was screwing the 12 millimeter back into the brake line, like where the brake line holder thing is at. And these things screw into the old ones just fine, no stripping at all. I can screw it in like by hand for a long time. And if I just try screwing it into that, not even with the brake line on it, just trying to hand screw it in, it's not wanting to screw in at all. It's wanting to cross thread. So I'm just gonna send it, and oh well, it's just gonna be cross threaded in there. Alright, everything is tightened down on both sides. So I'm ready to put the wheels back on and lower it and see how low it is. Hopefully it's not too low so where I can't get the jack out because that would suck. But I want 9 threads up, which honestly 9 threads up is not even that much. I barely went up at all because obviously you can take this all the way, you know. I guess I am kind of high up, but we'll see. I just don't want to be too slammed where I can't get off the jack. I thought the jack was going to be good, but I am too low. The jack is now stuck, which is awesome. One side I put a block of wood, this side I put skateboards, so hopefully it works. I don't have 2 blocks of wood. For some reason I got 1 on that side. It worked! It actually worked! Yeah, before I start working on the back, I just want to show you that this is how much it sticks out. That sticks out pretty far because it has caps over here that are supposed to go on it, but stock caps cannot go on it anymore. Alright, so I'm now off the skateboards and it's getting lower and lower. As it settles, it's going to keep dropping lower and lower. And if it's not low enough, all I gotta do is just take out the wheel and adjust it, make it lower. So I will do that if it's not low enough. But I gotta start on the rears because you can just tell the rear is way worse than the front. Look at that. Oh my jeebus. Compared to the front, like this thing keeps getting lower and lower. My fingers are barely in there now. The rear has a bunch of these like pins, and you gotta take them all out because the strut is like back there, or you know, where you're gonna be installing the coil over the top part where the bolts are at. Are back there. I have to take all the clips out, just take out the bottom thing, and then you can easily just fold this down and you can see the 2 bolts that we're gonna have to get out right there. So for the front, I did them at the same time, but the back, I'm gonna do one at a time. So I'm gonna do this one first, and then I'm gonna do the other one. Yeah, the rear is super easy. I didn't use any power guns or anything, just a 17 millimeter wrench, 17 millimeter ratchet, 14 millimeter wrench, 14 millimeter ratchet, and it's just 3 bolts, and they're right there. That is super easy. It drops down. I'm gonna raise the car up higher so I have more clearance to drop the strut straight down. It's kind of in the way right now, so I was gonna keep raising the car up a little bit higher. But that's pretty much it. You know? This is the highest I can go, so I'm just gonna have to make it work. Obviously, there's enough clearance to get it out. It's just gonna be different than what I was hoping for, but I'll still make it work. So I found a safe way of doing it. I just have an extension with a 14 millimeter because those are 2 14 millimeter bolts. They're both loose already. I just have to, you know, undo them. And so I can actually have enough room to put my hand down here and hold the strut while I take it out over there. And now it's off. Easy peasy. This thing is actually really light. So don't be worried about trying to do this by yourself. It's pretty easy. So another thing I found out is that you actually have to take this rubber piece off, like out of this. Like teen coilovers, you keep this rubber in, but these you take it out and you have to put this plastic piece into there because that fits like perfectly in there. Alright, I just went ahead and sent it and it's pretty tight, so I guess we're good now. By the way, that's a good trick, this little vice grip to make sure it doesn't spin on you. And just like that, the rear is in. And then now all I gotta do is just put those 3 bolts back on and I'm good. I'm gonna use the jack to jack this up. Okay guys, when doing the rear, when installing this back on there, the middle sway bar link for me, for some reason, like I'll put that back one on and this front one on, and then that sway bar link one would not go on at all. It would not line up ever. So I went ahead and took both bolts out, put the sway bar link in one first, and then after doing that, I went ahead and got my jack stand and put a piece of block of wood on it, and I used the jack stand to jack up that back corner and put that bolt on, and then jacked up this one and put that bolt on. And so that's how I got this on. My situation was kind of weird. Like, I never seen anybody that happened to. So if that happens to you, now you know what to do. Just put the middle one in first, and then jack up both sides for each bolt. Alright guys, so it's been a while since I made that last video. When I say video, I mean this is the end of the video showing you my setup. However, it's been winter. Like, I actually put these coilovers on before winter, and I just never finished the video. So this is where my height is now at. So I cannot even put my shoe in there at all. It passes the shoe test, finger test. Yeah, it's way up there. Like, the top of my tire is way up in there. A decent amount of camber is on it, which it's not too much though. Obviously, it doesn't look that bad at all. But the inner tire does wear more than the outer pretty fast. But it's not too much camber, it's just enough so my wheel is tucking. And in the front, I only have like -2 camber. Don't mind the trash bags, those are actually extra tires for drift events. I have 2 tires in here. And then come over here, I got 2 more tires. I got wheels I can put all these tires on. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I guess 12 tires, but these ones are actually pretty bald, so I've been drifting a lot lately. Just practicing for the season, because drift season is now about to start. But so I've been riding on these for about like 4 months now, and it's been riding really good. I am happy with the outcome. The front is not, it doesn't seem as low as the back. The back is definitely lower, but it's perfect so I can actually get in and out of my driveway, because my driveway is kind of steep. It doesn't look too steep on camera, but it's pretty fucking steep. I'm just glad I don't have a curb at the bottom of it. That's what saves me, is having no curb. So Black Flag height adjustable coilovers, I would say they are good to go. I would buy them again. They're worth it. They weren't that expensive. They're on a cheaper side. I forgot exactly how much, but I think I only paid like 450 bucks for them, and they were definitely worth it. So overall, they were easy to install. I did it myself within a day. The hardest part about it was having the sway bars had been cut on it, which I had to shop down the street to do it, and they did a wonderful job of doing that, and they were fast about it. So yeah, it's been lowered for almost come up on a half a year already, which is surprising, and I love it. And I'm just gonna keep on driving it, keep on modding it, and we have some bigger stuff coming soon, hopefully, for it. So that's pretty much it for this video. I will be at more drift events this year, and I'll be recording more. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something from it maybe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.